Hi students, today we are going to see Civics Unit 3, Human Rights. Today we are going to see about human rights. In this lesson, our learning objectives are to know about the international efforts for protected human rights, to understand the basic human rights ensured in the Indian Constitution, to understand about the functions of institution and issues involved in human rights, to know about the types of human rights. So children, in this lesson we have learned about human rights and the protested human rights and the human rights in Indian Constitution, human rights and functions of the human rights and the types of human rights. So listen well and understand the lesson.
Introduction. This lesson travels through the history of organizations for human rights. The rights ensured by the Universal Declaration of Human Rights being highlighted. Fundamental rights are enshrined in the Indian Constitution and fundamental duties incorporated in the Constitution along with the introduction to national and state human rights commissions and their functions are explained. Extended rights like child rights, SC and ST rights, human rights, labor rights, etc. Let's see Gandhiji's experience with racial discrimination. On the very night on 7th June 1893, while a person was on his way to Pretoria in South Africa, a white man objected the person's presence of a non-white man in a first-class carriage, and person was ordered to move to a van compartment at the end of the train. The man who had the first-class ticket refused to leave and was thrown off the train at Pietermaritzburg, South Africa. He was Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. Shivering in the winter night in the waiting room of the station changed the course of his life. He took up the fight against racial oppression, that is, discrimination. The spirit for active non-violence started from that moment. So, Mahatma Gandhi made the momentous decision to stay on in South Africa and fight racial discrimination against the Indians. Out of that struggle emerged his unique way of protest, non-violent satyagraha. As a human being, Gandhi had all the rights to travel in the first-class compartment, but he was discriminated because of his skin color. Discrimination is not only based on color, it is on the basis of race, gender, place of birth, caste, religion, and so on. Due to these discriminations, people are prohibited from enjoying their basic human rights. In the same way, Nelson Mandela, who was a political leader of South Africa, put an end to apartheid. The word apartheid means racial segregation between white ruling minority and the non-white majority, that is the difference between white and the non-white people. Apartheid was the highest form of discrimination that exists in South Africa. Places of residence were determined by racial classification. So, the people of South Africa protested against racial discrimination. Nelson Mandela raised his voice against apartheid. When he organized campaign against the government, he was imprisoned. Amid growing domestic and international pressure and with the fear of racial civil war, President F.W.D. Klerk released him in 1990. The efforts taken by Mandela and de Klerk put an end to apartheid. In year 1994, a multiracial general election was held in which Mandela led the African National Congress to victory and became the president. Mandela raises his fist soon after his release from jail after 27 years. So, Gandhiji and Mandela started their fight against racial discrimination in South Africa. Next, we'll see Universal Declaration of Human Rights, UDHR, which is an international document which preserves rights and freedom of all human beings. The declaration was proclaimed by United Nations General Assembly in Paris on 10th December 1948 as a common standard of achievement of all people and all nations. The first time it sets out the fundamental human rights to be universally protected, and the UDHR has been translated into many languages. There are 30 articles in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and it guarantees freedom of expression as well as civil, political, social, economic, and cultural rights. These rights apply to all people irrespective of their race, gender, nationality, as well as people are born free and equal. The 5 categories of human rights are social rights, economic rights, cultural rights, civil rights, and political rights. The first right is the social rights. Social rights are necessary for full participation in the society. Next, economic rights. Economic rights are concerned with basic human needs. Social and economic rights are a part of legal principles through which economic equality and freedom are preserved in the state. Next is cultural rights. Cultural rights are human rights that aim at assuring the enjoyment of culture. The components in conditions of equality, human dignity, and non-discrimination. Next is civil rights. Civil rights refers to the basic rights afforded by laws of the government to every person regardless of race, nationality, color, gender, age, religion, etc. And at the last, political rights. Political rights are exercised in the formation and administration of a government. These rights give power to the citizen to participate either directly or indirectly in the administration. Next, we'll learn the fundamental rights of Indian citizen. Fundamental rights are required for the all-round development of a human being. They make the life of people meaningful by giving them rights like speech and to live in an area of their choice. The 6 fundamental rights are right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, cultural and educational rights, right to constitutional remedy. The first is right to equality. It refers to equality before law and equal protection of law. Prohibition or discrimination on the grounds of religion, caste, races, gender, or place of birth is offense, and one can seek justice from court. Next is right to freedom. 6 different types of freedom are mentioned in the Constitution. They are freedom of speech and expression, freedom to assemble peacefully without arms, freedom to form associations and unions, freedom to reside and settle in any part of India, freedom to move freely throughout the territory of India, freedom to practice any profession and carry on any occupation, trade or business. Next is right against exploitation. It is against the law to employ children below 14 years of age in mines, factories or other occupations. Neither contractor nor an employer can force a worker to do a job against their will. Next is right to freedom of conscience and religion. This right gives the citizen freedom to follow and practice a religion of their choice. All citizens have the freedom of conscience or ideas. The citizens also have the freedom to follow their own ways for practicing any religion. Cultural and educational rights. The Constitution gives us the right to preserve, protect, and promote culture. We have the right to open schools, associations, and societies to preserve and promote our tradition and culture. Similarly, a group of people may open a school for imparting religious education to children. The government also promotes such activities by giving grants. However, such institutions cannot deny admission to anyone based on their caste, color, creed, or even religion. Next is right to constitutional remedies. Fundamental rights are guaranteed by the Constitution. By this right, a person can adopt constitutional means and approach a court if he is denied the fundamental rights. The court then issues orders which are called writs. Writs is a written order from the court or other legal authority ordering to do an act or not to do it to the government to restore the rights to the citizen. The constitutional remedies put to right anything which may be wrong in terms of the Constitution. This right therefore protects and safeguards all other rights. So let's know the difference between human rights and fundamental rights. Under human rights, the rights that a human being deserves to survive with respect and freedom. Under fundamental rights, the elemental rights of the citizens of a country which are listed in the Constitution and enforceable under the law is known as fundamental rights. Human rights include those rights which are basic to a real life and are absolute, that is, it cannot be taken away. Fundamental rights include only those rights which are basic to a normal life. Human rights are recognized at international level. Fundamental rights are guaranteed under the Constitution of the country. Human rights are declared by the UN, suggests minimum standard of rights to be adopted by government, and these serves more or less like directive principle. Next is fundamental duties. These are in the form of duties and responsibilities of citizens. The original Constitution, which came into force with effect from 26th January 1950, did not contain fundamental duties. These were incorporated in the Constitution by the 42nd Amendment Act in 1976. The Constitution states 11 fundamental duties as given below. The first, respect for the Constitution and its ideals and institutions, the national flag and the national anthem. Second, to follow and cherish the noble ideals which inspire our national struggle for freedom. Third, to uphold and protect the sovereignty, unity and integrity of India. Fourth, to defend the country and render national service when called upon to do so. Fifth, to promote harmony and spirit of common brotherhood amongst all the people of India. Sixth, to value and preserve the rich heritage of our composite culture. Seventh, to protect and improve the natural environment, including forest, lakes, rivers, and wildlife, and have compassion on living creatures. Eighth, to develop the scientific temper, humanism, and the spirit of inquiry and reform. Ninth, to safeguard public property and to abjure from violence. Tenth, to strive towards excellence in all spheres of individual and collective activity so that the nation constantly rises to higher level of endeavors and achievement. And the last 11th, to provide opportunities for education by the parent and guardian to their child or word upon the age of 14 years. Next we'll see National Human Rights Commission NHRC. The National Human Rights Commission is an autonomous body constituted on 12th October 1993 under the Protection of Human Rights Act 1993. It consists of a chairman and few other members. So the present chairman of the National Human Rights Commission is H.L. Dattu. 3 members from judiciary and 4 from other department. NHRC is responsible for the protection and promotion of human rights in India, defined by the Act as rights relating to life, liberty, equality, and dignity of the individual guaranteed by the Constitution or embodied in the International Covenant or Agreement, and the office is located in New Delhi. Functions of NRHC: to inquire into the violation of human rights or negligence in the prevention of such violations by a public servant, to intervene in court proceeding relating to human rights, to undertake and promote research in the field of human rights, to engage in human rights education among various sections of society, to encourage the efforts of NGOs and institutions working in the field of human rights. Next, moving on to State Human Rights Commission SHRC. Every state in India has a State Human Rights Commission established in accordance with the power conferred on the state under Section 21 of the Protection of Human Rights Act 1993. The Protection of Human Rights Act of 1993 provides for the creation of State Human Rights Commission at the state level. A State Human Rights Commission can inquire into violation of human rights related to subjects covered under state list and concurrent list in the 7th schedule of the Indian Constitution. The Office of Human Rights is located in Chennai. Functions of SHRC. The SHRC shall inquire into violations of human rights in respect of matters specified in the state and concurrent list. Its objectives and duties are the same as NHRC but confined only to the state. It has a chairman and 2 members. It has the power of a civil court and can take cognizance of cases if received or in suo motu. The word suo motu means act of authority. Next, it can also recommend compensation to victims. Under State Human Rights Commission, we have child rights. A child is a person who has not completed the age of 18 years, that is, a minor as per UNO. This principle is exhibited in Article 25 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Based on these principles, the Declaration of the Rights of the Child was accepted and adopted in the UN General Assembly on 20th November 1989. So, what are the rights given to the children? Right to life, right to family environment, right to education, right to benefit from social security, right against sexual exploitation, right against sale or trafficking, right against other form of exploitation like child labor. The first right given to the child is right to life. A child has the right to survive even before its birth. The right to survival also includes the right to be born, the right to basic needs of food, shelter and clothing, and a dignified living. Next, right to family environment. A child has the right to live a normal childhood in a family environment. Children who have been left destitute, abandoned or orphaned also have the right to live. These children can be given for adoption to caring families. Next right is right to benefit from social security. Children should get financial support from the country when their parents or guardian are unable to provide them with a good standard of living by themselves due to any illness, disability or old age. Next is right to education. Right to Education Act is an act of the Parliament of India enacted in 2009 for free and compulsory education for children from 6 to 14 years of age as under Article 21A of the Constitution. Let's know about a famous fearless activist, Malala. Malala Yousafzai is a Pakistani activist for female education and the youngest Nobel Prize winner. She says, "Every day I fight to ensure all girls receive 12 years of free, safe, quality education. With more than 130 million girls out of school today, there is more work to be done. I hope you will join my fight for education and equality. Together we can create a world where all girls can learn and lead." Right against sale or trafficking. Children should be treated as individuals with fundamental human rights. Children are vulnerable or helpless. They have root causes such as poverty, gender discrimination, broken families, etc. behind the sale or trafficking of children. Children are subjected to sale or trafficking for various reasons such as economic exploitation, sexual abuse, drug trafficking, and child labor. Next is right against sexual exploitation. The state should protect children from sexual exploitation and abuse when they are forced or persuaded to take part in sexual activities physically or mentally. So recently, the Kavalan SOS app is launched by the government of Tamil Nadu for public use during emergencies. Anyone in a critical situation can directly access the state police control room using this app. Under sexual exploitation, we have POCSO Act, that is Protection of Children from Sexual Offence Act. The Protection of Children from Sexual Offence regards the best interest of the child as being of paramount importance at every stage. The salient features of POCSO Act are: the Act defines a child as any person below 18 years of age to ensure the healthy physical, emotional, intellectual, and social development of the child. When the abuse is committed by a person in a position of trust or authority, vice versa the child, like a family member, neighbors, or any other acquaintances. The statement of the child is to be recorded exactly as the child narrates. A child not to be called repeatedly to testify. The recent number 1098 is a child line in India's first 24 hours free emergency phone service for children in need of assistance. Special care is given for helpless children like those affected by child labor, child marriage, and children affected by any abuse. Right against other form of exploitation like child labor. Children are often employed in several industries. These children are deprived of their childhood, health, and education. This will lead to a life of poverty and want. These children are made to work in glass, matchbox, lock making factories, rag picking, carpet making industry, mining, brick kilns, and tea gardens, etc. Let's know about a famous personality, Kailash Satyarthi, who is an Indian social reformer who campaigned against child labor in India and advocated the universal right to education. More than 86,000 children in India have been liberated by him and his team members from child labor, slavery, and trafficking. An 80,000 kilometer long global march against child labor was led by Kailash in the year 1998, which turned the world's attention towards the issue of child labor. He received Nobel Prize for Peace in the year 2014. The findings of an international survey reveals that children with disabilities are 3.4% more sexually abused than normal children. Next is women's rights. The National Commission for Women NCW is constituted in India to review the constitutional and legal safeguards for women, recommends remedial measures and advises the government on all matters of policy affecting the welfare and development of women in the country. In modern India, women have held high offices including that of the President, Prime Minister, Speaker of the Lok Sabha, Leader of the Opposition, Union Ministers, Chief Ministers, and Governors. Women's right under the Constitution of India mainly includes equality, dignity, and freedom from discrimination. Additionally, India has various status governing the rights of women. On 1924, at Vaikam, Kerala, Periyar E.V. Ramasamy agitated for temple entry for Dalits. In the year 1925, he started the self-respect movement. The next right is the Right to Information Act. The Right to Information Act is a revolutionary act that aims to promote transparency in the government institution in India. This act was enacted in October 2005. A common man can demand any government organization to provide information. The information must be provided within 30 days. If not, a fee will be collected as penalty from the concerned official. Aruna Roy and Nikhil Dev are a very popular activist of RTI. It is one of the most powerful law of the country. This act is people friendly. Even an illiterate person can ask any public information officer to write it down for him. All government agencies like municipal corporation, government departments, government schools, road authorities, etc. come under this act. The last right is the labor rights. The Constitution ensures right to equality, equality of opportunity in public employment, right to form associations and unions, right to livelihood, prohibit trafficking, forced labor, and child labor. Article 39D ensures equal wages to male and female workers for equal work. The rights of every man are diminished when the rights of one man are threatened, said John F. Kennedy. Civilized nations of the world insist on equality. Nations pay more attention on human rights to ensure equality. This helps in maintaining peace, harmony, and development of the country. Let's know the contribution of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar to laborers. Reduction in factory working hours. He made 8 hours a day. Compulsory recognition of trade unions. Employment exchange in India. Employees state insurance, that is ESI. Then minimum wages for laborers. Coal and mica mines provident fund. Before ending the lesson, let's have a quick recap.
See the recap of this lesson. Discrimination is the partial treatment of people. UNO's definitions of human rights. History of human rights has its roots from the aftermath of Second World War. Universal Declarations of Human Rights. Indian Constitution ensures 6 fundamental rights and 11 duties of the citizens. Formation and functions of national and state human rights commissions. Extended rights such as child rights, SC and ST rights, human rights, right to info, RTI and labor laws. So we have completed our lesson here, children. Understand the lesson well and study the lesson well. Thank you, children.